Good. Well, hello, this is Kathleen Caldwell, founder of C-Suite Networks, Women's Coaching and Consulting Council, and the Women's Success Accelerator. And I have the great privilege to be surrounded by successful women. So if you know you're a successful woman and you know you want more, give me some sparkle fingers so we can get you. Yes, thank you. Your successful woman look. Excellent. So we've got more of our sisters coming in. Put in the chat your LinkedIn information. And, we use the chat to connect, which is really, really powerful. And I'm going to just jump in. I know we've got ladies that are coming in, but your time is important. Ours is important. And I have so much information today and so much good, phenomenal strategies that I want to get going. Okay. So does that work for you? You all good? Okay, good. So we're going to be engaging in a conversation here. And so I'll be flipping between the slides. I love slides because it keeps me on track, and we'll be flipping between slides and also gallery mode. So I want to get your voices in here. Okay. Now, the challenge we have is we're going to have a very full room here in a moment, and we need everyone to really get to the bottom line, to be concise, to be thinking about, put yourself in that room that you are a corporate coach and a corporate consultant. You're the best of the best, ladies. The best of the best. You are highly sought after. You are making 6, 7, 8, 9 figures. Okay. So those people don't ramble. They get right in and get out. So we get to practice today. So we can put on our cape, right, of our highly successful coach, consultant, trusted advisor, and thought leader. So let me do some sharing here. We are in day 1 of our summit. Okay, and if you can see my slides, just give me a little sparkle finger. Yes, great. Thank you. See, we've got the participation going already. Yes. So again, my name's Kathleen Caldwell, delighted to be the founder of C-Suite Networks, Women's Coaching and Consulting Council. Ladies, the inside secret here is I did this because I just wanted to be surrounded by fun, smart, powerful women. That's the whole thing. So strategy number 1 is, and feel free, take notes, get on your computer, take some notes, because we're going to be dropping a ton of truth bombs here, strategies you will not get out there in the world. Strategy number 1 is creating a business where you are surrounded by awesome people. Okay, just like you. Life is too short to be surrounded by victims, pains in the rear, people that are annoying, people that don't pay on time, people that don't show up on time, blah, 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 blah. No, create an environment where you get to be the ringleader. You get to be the person who elevates others. That's why I created the council, because I wanted to be surrounded by you. Had I not done this, we wouldn't, who knows? I don't know if we'd be in community together right now. So I'm a coach, consultant, trusted advisor, strategic person, and I love creating communities. So that's my reason for doing this. And, we have in our council a business sisterhood. That's just what we do. We come together. We have a culture, sisters, where we are not competitors. We're baking new pies. We're making new pies. We're making more pies and bigger pies so that everyone can get a delicious slice of the pie. Apple pie a la mode, if you so choose. Okay. So this is how we use the chat. Put your LinkedIn. We've got more and more sisters joining us. Put your LinkedIn contact information in the chat. And I'm also curious. My curious question to start off is, why are you participating today? And I really want you to lean in today, because this is a really important topic. It's timely. And I have to say, for all of the programs that I have done in the last 2 years, conservatively, I've done over 125 webinars, 125, okay? And that's probably on the conservative note. This is one of the most highly registered programs that we've had. And this summit is really important. So this is a hot topic. So put in the chat why corporate coaching and consulting is important to you. Why is it important to you? Okay, that's the key thing. And I come to you with a lot of experience in this, a lot of hard knocks, a lot of victories, but things that I've learned along the way. I've worked with small businesses, medium businesses, large corporate businesses, Fortune 10 businesses, and divisions of Fortune 10 businesses where there's tremendous opportunity, ladies. I've worked with boards and franchises and associations and for-profits and non-for-profits, tons of experience. And I'm bringing to you what I've learned, and I want to help you be able to take the shortcuts on this. And I've been able to do this from the little town of Woodstock, Illinois, population 25,391 people, right outside of Chicago, where the movie Groundhog Day was filmed. Okay, so who have seen the movie Groundhog Day? Sweet, cute movie. Yes. Well, we're not going to have a Groundhog Day experience where it's the same day over and over and over again. Today is the line of demarcation. We're going on a summit, sisters. Okay, because the opportunity for corporate coaching and consulting, trusted advisor services, thought leader services and opportunities, it is okay. While the whole world is going B2C, business to consumer, I'm saying the time is now for us to go B2B. Now, if you're already a coach, consultant, trusted advisor, thought leader in the corporate area, I'm challenging you today. I'm putting the gauntlet down. Let's expand your business. Okay. Let's expand your income. Let's expand your impact. Okay. So if you're already seasoned, you could have the lens on. Well, Kathleen, I've already done that. All right. I've already been there. I want you to double down because this opportunity is real. And why I say that is the whole world, you can't pick up a newspaper, news feed or anything and not read about how women are breaking out of corporate. They're breaking out of corporate. And what they're doing is they're frustrated. They're not enjoying themselves. They've got problems and issues. COVID has really elevated a lot of things that were already in the corporate arena. And specifically women, you read the headlines, they're breaking out in drones, okay? I'm challenging you ladies to break in, okay? While they're breaking out and they're doing what they're doing, bless them, we love them, they're our sisters. I'm asking you as a trusted advisor, the opportunities to break back in. We've got corporate warriors. That's the term that I'm really using now. Corporate warriors, people that want to stay in their jobs. They want to be engaged. They want to make a difference. They want to find a place. They want to find a home. They want to belong in a business, an organization or corporation, an association. They want to belong, but they don't know how. Okay. And I just want to show a couple slides. If you were in our last week break into corporate, give me some sparkle fingers if you were there for that. Whoa, was a powerful program. Okay. Because I think it's important. We're on our summit today, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. 4 days, 1 hour a day is all I'm asking for you to participate and watch the replays. The replays will be up within hours of our program because my team is going to work for this for you. Because the corporate coaching and consulting business is on a growth. It's been on a growth spurt really since 2014. And there's an opportunity now that is really important because of what's happening with the dynamics of corporate. Okay. And so step number 2, we already did our step number 1. What's your why? Why do you want to participate today in this success summit for coaches and consultants? How to break into corporate. But number 2, to really understand step number 2, because we're using the summit analogy, is there's a tremendous opportunity, as I mentioned, but we got to find out really where do we fit? Where do we fit? You know, there's micro businesses, small businesses, medium, large, all these associations. And for many coaches and consultants, we've been going after the B2C market, the business to consumer, the business to the solopreneur. And I have to say, that's a rough and tumble business, okay? It's a really hard business to be in. And I'm inviting you to go in where there are blue oceans, ladies. There are blue oceans. There are thousands and thousands of corporations. And the largest businesses of 250 employees or above, they make up only 5% of the businesses in the United States of America, only 5%, but they make up literally 75% of the revenue. Okay. Small amount of businesses, a lot of subsidiaries, a lot of franchises, lots of divisions, lots of opportunity, but they make up the vast number of the revenue and the income that's generated in the United States. So it's a tremendous opportunity. Okay. And then just to really recap here, why do corporations, organizations, associations, franchises, why do they hire coaches and consultants? You got to know the game you're in, ladies, right? This is a short list, okay? A short list of why corporations hire coaches and consultants, okay? So I'd love for you to take a look at this list and write down a couple things that are emerging for you. What is it? Where do you see yourself here? Okay, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to pause the recording or pause our sharing here with our slides and take a little snapshot here of why do corporations hire coaches and consultants? Okay. And I just want to share with you strategy number 3. Strategy number 3 is if you call yourself a coach consultant, I want you to stop doing that. What did she just say? Stop? Yes. Strategy number 3, stop calling yourself a coach consultant. Okay. You are a value added professional. You are a strategist. You are a specialist. You are an expert. If you've been in business for more than 10 to 15 years and you have a passion, you have an expertise, you've got specialized training, you're an expert. Okay. Time to call yourself that. All right. If you look in my LinkedIn profile, I don't have coach consultant. Yeah, I'll show that again. I don't have coach consultant in the first couple of things that I'm sharing. Okay. Because guess what? I'm going to put this slide back up. Thank you, Ronnie. Is why do they hire coaches and consultants? Now I'm just using that term because we're in our summit here, but they hire them for so many different things. Okay. And let me show you the next slide and then we'll pause after this. Hiring coaches and consultants, what do we then do once we're in corporate? Oh my goodness. We're speaking, we're holding retreats. Just last week, I have an opportunity. I love it. There's no RFP that's going out, request for proposal. There's no bid process that's going out. This is the sole source, ladies. And by the way, and you need to know the nomenclature, knowing the terminology, knowing what the words are that they use. But I just had 2 opportunities last week that came to me from clients from 10, 15 years ago to do board retreats. Okay. Strategic planning for board retreats. Ladies, that's a very, very healthy opportunity for a 1-day board retreat. Okay. That's literally in the 5 figures. Okay. You should be there too. So strategic planning, team building, leadership, board development, executive coaching, team coaching, high potential coaching. Now more than ever, corporations need to keep their high potential employees engaged and retain them. Okay. You can set up councils, masterminds, enterprise resource planning consulting, turnarounds. There are so many opportunities. Okay. But if you go in saying, I'm a coach, I'm here to save your company. I'm a coach here to coach your employees. It's not going to go so great. Okay. Because what happens is in the mind of corporate and corporate people is they'll put you in a box. How many of you would like to be in a box? I don't think so, right? They're going to put you in a box and they're going to say, coach, great, check mark. Coaches, okay, I think coaches make $300 to $350 a month. And what I've heard is that maybe they'll have 2 calls a month for maybe 45 minutes to an hour. There we go. And that's how they're going to view you. All right. So we do not want to be labeled as a coach consultant. Okay. Getting my drift here. We want to be positioned as a strategic advisor, a business specialist, a strategist, a expert who's going to help them do X, Y, and Z, help them be X, Y, and Z, help them do X, Y, and Z, help them achieve X, Y, and Z. Okay. So just curious, what's emerging for you? I'm going to turn the baton over to you and ask you to share literally in just a couple sentences. Okay. So let's just get to the bottom line of, we've got so much to cover here. What's emerging for you as the opportunity for you? Where do you see yourself going next? Now, again, this is not a commitment. We're not asking for you. We're just dating now with the corporations. We're just going on dates. We're not asking to marry this niche, this specialization, but what are you thinking is emerging for you? Feel free to jump on, unmute yourself. And again, we want to get in and get out in our sharing. Just get to the bottom line. Okay. Who wants to share? Because I know we've got a lot of smart women on this call.
I love your reframe of the strategic advisor as opposed to a coach, because if you want to talk about board leadership or executive leadership, they want strategic advisors. They don't want coaches, even though the process of what we do is coaching.
Teresa, excellent. So imagine, this is such a brilliant point that you're bringing up. We're creating this beautiful, beautiful opportunity for our clients. You know, imagine you're going to the most amazing dinner on the planet. Okay. You've been invited to come and be the hostess of this amazing dinner. You've hired a chef. You've hired a whole team to support you. You've got a whole evening plan. You've got a whole plan. I'm just making this up in this metaphor as we go along. But do people want to know that there were 5 onions that were chopped in the bouillabaisse? Or do they want to know, you know, that you used canned bouillon cubes as opposed to boiling? They want the result, a delicious meal, right? They want the result that your coaching and consulting will provide. Brilliant point, Teresa. Sparkle fingers for Teresa. Yes, thank you. Who else? What's emerging for you? Rebecca, I think you've had your hand up.
Actually, I had a very similar realization. I actually had removed the language coach, and I had a conversation with a former client, but he's, Rebecca, you are a coach. You know, you were invaluable to me, and And I'm like, but that word, I feel it puts me in a box, and you just totally said exactly what I was thinking. So yeah, I'm getting rid of it again. I'm going to remove it again, because he's just like, no. And I said, I think that diminishes. I mean, I have almost 30 years of experience for crying out loud.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that. Huge.
Rebecca, thank you. Perfect. Now, I'm not saying that we give up the term coach. I'm not saying we give up the word, the term, the description consultant, but I'm just presenting to each of you just some new thoughts, some new ways of reframing. Let's not let it box us in, okay? Because people come to it with a preconceived notion. And you know, and I'm a member of the International Coach Federation. I have been literally an ICF coach since 2002. Okay. I was at the 3rd ICF conference at Greenleaf in the Central Florida when there was a hurricane. So, you know, I have a lot of experience with coaching as a coach, like each of you, but I don't want it to box me in, because oftentimes coaching is what I do. Coaching really is who I am. Yes. Okay. But coaching is, to my corporate clients, it's one of the tools in my toolbox. The same for each of you. Okay. Yeah. I also use strategy. I also use assessments. I also use frameworks. I use I'm an NL practitioner. I'm a hypnotherapist. You know, like each of you, we use the tools that are appropriate in the moment. Okay. But if we listed all of our accreditations and all of our stuff, it would make our clients dizzy. So we're now on our summit. We're base camp 1. Okay. Base camp 1 on our summit. And I'm going to go to that metaphor in a little bit. Strategy number 3, use metaphors with people. Paint them a picture. Use your coaching skills, demonstrate your coaching skills, and be the coach, but you don't have to say, I am a coach, okay? They don't care how they get there. They want to get the end result. Thank you. Who else had another point? Yvette, I think you had something. And again, we're doing very concise sharing so we can get through everything. Please jump in, Yvette.
Yes, thank you. Ever since 2012, when I became an ACC coach, I realized right away that the work coaching was, for me, was very limiting, and it didn't get me much. In the truth of the matter, I was doing my master's degree and my coaching credential, that that was going to become a tool. Because as a consultant, I call myself consultant. I do system design. I use assessments. I use whatever I need to use in order to get the person to become more conflict intelligent. But still, somehow people box me into that coaching, and especially when they see the PCC, when they see it at the end of my name.
Yes.
But even though that I have done that, still, I have not landed consulting gigs, which has been my dream to do, go into organizations and really create an entire process or a system that will get them from point A to B. Rather, they just hire me as coaching for a couple of hours here and there.
Right. So Yvette, beautiful. And I really appreciate, how many of you can relate to what Yvette is saying? Yeah. Thank you. So on our summit, our success summit, today, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, we're going to be going into this journey of going from, being the coach, which we're not going to give that up, but I'm saying moving and breaking into corporate and moving into being more of a trusted advisor, a consultant, a strategic advisor, a specialist, an expert, all of those things, being thought of as a thought leader. Okay. And it's a shift in mindset, which we're starting today. Today is our start day. All right. So I'd like for you to shed. Now, again, just try it on. Okay. And when the first training that I did after I got my ICF certification, Susan Younger, so thrilled you're here. Good. Yeah. Is, I had the identity of a coach, the ACC coach and the International Coach Federation. I believe in that organization. And, their agenda, I lovingly say this, their agenda is to create coaches that are certified and are part of the ICF. So I just say to you, how can you use that as a tool, okay, in your toolbox, okay? Ultimately, our clients want results. And however you get them to those results, honestly, they don't care. Again, they don't care if it's bullion cubes or if it's bullion that has been simmering for days, okay? They want the result. So let me pop back in and, again, knowing the opportunities are really powerful because, they're hiring they're hiring us because, it's an opportunity to transform their organization. And so in the next 4 days, today, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, is why did I want to do a summit? Okay. Well, a summit, I believe, is, how many of you ever had dreams of climbing Mount Everest or climbing some sort of mountain? Anything like that? I'm not seeing a lot of hands sparkling here. Okay. All right. And using the summit metaphor, this is the opportunity for each of you to try on and to set as a goal something that's very challenging, okay? And to experience the exhilaration of completing it. I have created a summit for myself of running and completing 3 marathons, okay? San Francisco and Chicago marathon twice, okay? I did it alone. It was the worst experience I've ever had in my entire life. But as you can see in the graphic, doing a summit, and a summit can be anything. It's anything that's important to you. Doing it alone is one thing, but having a sisterhood to support you is key, because we're not on a solo journey here, ladies. Okay. If you're on a solo journey, you may end up at the top and it could cost you a lot. So we're going through this journey together here. Okay. And and the other thing is, with a summit, I love this analogy, is you're going on a summit with your clients. Okay. You're on a summit with your clients. Clients are in the middle of crisis. They're in the middle of opportunities. They're in the middle of the things that are up for them in life. And I know that I left corporate because I did not have the support systems that I needed. I needed to hire a coach while I was in corporate. And this was back many, many years ago. Coaching was not really popular then. The only two coaches that I knew about were Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, and Marshall Goldsmith. Those were the only coaches I knew about back in the 2000s. So coaching has really come a long way. And just like your clients, they need to have the support that only you can provide to them. Okay. So we are on a summit, and, with a summit, it's important to know what are the challenges. So I just want to lay out for you, first of all, we went through what's the opportunity in corporate, what's the opportunity, and what are the different varieties of businesses that you could work with in corporate. But what are the challenges? Okay. So it's hard to get in and stay in. You're also at the mercy of budgets. Okay. After the 2008 recession, one of the first industries that was really cutting back and constricting were financial institutions. Well, at the time, the majority of my clients were banks, banking systems. Hello. So immediately, training, coaching, consulting got cut immediately. So literally overnight, I went from 1 month of $35,000. It was a delicious, delightful time, to literally the next month, no clients. And I was not wise enough to build up my funnel to have a diversity of clients. I now know that, and I want to share that with you. So in corporations, they're competing priorities. Okay. They've got to get their work done when they need to get it done. Assessments and projects and programs. So you're competing with their priorities. There's tremendous corporate politics, ladies, I got to tell you, and to know how to navigate that summit is challenging. There are also, as you can imagine, diverse personalities and biases. There are people that are going to be for coaches and consultants, and they're going to be a camp that says, no, we can do it ourselves. Okay. And then a couple more things to know the landscape again. You're constantly proving your worth. It's one of the downsides of this. So it's important to be value focused, outcome focused. And then three more that are, these were just a couple of things that I just was thinking through my experience. It's a pressure cooker environment. Okay. Clients, managers, leaders, boards, CEOs, CFOs, the C-suite, they have got constant nonstop pressure. They want to pull you into that. Okay. So having very strict boundaries, understanding the line, understanding the relationship, it's an art and a science, sisters. And then, of course, two more things. The challenges with corporate is who's really in charge. The CEO, the chief executive officer, may not really be the one in charge of the coaching and consulting project. Okay. And of course, the final thing is everybody's got a friend. Okay. I know a coach who can do this cheaper, better, faster, quicker. Heck, I know a coach, a board member will say, I know a coach who'll do this for free. How many of you can relate to any of those challenges? Yeah. Have you experienced any of those challenges? Yes, yes, yes. So it's important to know, again, would you go and say, hey, I want to climb Mount Everest and not have a plan? I think not, right? So part of this breaking into corporate and consulting and coaching is to have a plan, to have a roadmap, to know what you're going to do. So base camp number one is to know the landscape. Okay. And I want to just do a couple more slides and then I'm going to jump in and we're going to get some conversation going here. So know what the challenge is, know what the opportunities are. And then finally, with this section, success in corporate coaching and consulting requires results, okay? They're not hiring you because it's fashionable. They're not hiring you because it's a nice to do. They're not hiring you because they have got all this excess money and they just want to say, hey, I think we're going to hire a coach who's going to help us fix our whole company, okay? If you find those clients, be sure to work with them and get the contract signed, okay? So some important questions that you need to be able to ask and be able to answer is things like, what are the problems that you're solving? What are the problems? And also, what are the real problems? How many of you in our gallery mode here, how many of you have been hired for one thing and realized it was a completely different problem? Or it was deeper problems, or it was other challenges, you know, they hired you for one thing and then you realized, oh my gosh, it's something else here. And then understanding success looks like who owns those problems, okay? There are divisions, there are groups, there are people that are executives, there are leaders, there are employees, there are vendors that own the problem. Who is feeling the pain of the problems? And then, of course, as a business strategist, as a business consultant, as a business coach, what are the systems that you have that help them solve the problems? Okay. So if you are taking on this summit and you're taking on this adventure, which you're here, so I think you're interested in doing that, is what are the systems you have to solve the problems? What are the frameworks, the tools, the assessments, the specialized knowledge, the training, the experience, and the results that you deliver? Okay. All right. So I have just transferred and shared a lot of info with you. And you know, if it's on our minds, we're typing, we're thinking and all of this, if we don't take a moment to pause, take a deep breath and start maybe expressing and thinking, this becomes a very boring webinar. Okay. We don't want that. We've got an interactive time together. So my curious question to each of you, and Ronnie will come to you in a second. My curious question is, where do you see the opportunity for you? Where do you see the opportunity? Because we've talked about why corporations hire coaches. What do you do once you're in? And then looking at success. Where's the opportunity for you? Yes, thank you. First, Ronnie, and then Yvette. Please jump in. And you know how we share? We get like right to the bottom line. We get in, we get out.
Well, two things. I see as you said, not problems, but the challenges we see in the landscape, personality and biases at the mercy of budgets, all that, to go ahead and address those things. Hey, I know that you have competing priorities, assessments, projects, programs, and that's exactly what I coach individuals in, because when individuals thrive, the whole team is fruitful. So actually address the problems, beat them to the punch, because I'm an expert at those particular problems. The other question I have, I saw that, I think it was Yvette that put, what if you've only done this for 2 years? My question is, I finished my certification in February. So I'm a newbie. I have some clients, a handful, but I'm a one-on-one coach. And until I really thrive for a year, you know about coaching with the ICF, I really want to do one-on-one for a good year, or I'll know when, and then go into group coaching. So what do you do like a newbie like me? I would love to do individuals contract work in corporate. So I hope you address that, because that's what brought me to you when you said break into.
Yes, excellent, excellent. So this is so perfect. And Yvette, I'm going to address also your question too, is, you know.
Oh, it was Carrie that said 2 years. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay, very good. Yes, Carrie, thank you. Great. I apologize. I'm not monitoring the chat because I'm monitoring you in our program here. So thank you. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. So let's look at the people that we're coaching, you know, because as I mentioned last week during our brief time together, our interactive gathering, there are so many people, individuals that happen to work in corporate. They happen to work in jobs. They happen to work in businesses. You know, these are all different names for corporations, associations, organizations, corporations, businesses, enterprises. People use different names to thing. Now, of course, there are nuances, of course. So, Ronnie, I would suggest looking at who are the people that you're coaching, your current clients now, and where is it that they work? Where's the opportunity for them to introduce you into the organization that they work for? Oftentimes, our most loyal, great clients are going to make that introduction because they so believe in you. They so believe in the results that you have helped them achieve. But they need coaching on how to do that, okay? They need coaching and guidance from you on how to position you. And to expound on what you were saying, Ronnie, it's not only that, hey, we know you've got competing priorities. We know that you've got budget issues. We know that you've got opportunities with new competitors. We know that you're a leader in your business, you know, these corporations. And here's specifically how I can help. I have a framework on how to transform production. I have a framework to improve communication. What are the things that are the biggest challenges for you? Use your coaching skills, use your consulting skills. What are the questions that you need to ask? And of course, before you even go into corporate, it's important to have a strong process, a strong sales process, a strong intake framework, okay? An intake, just the way you would have an intake with a private one-on-one business to consumer client, you've got to have an intake process with your corporate clients. So investigating the corporation, what are their challenges and opportunities? What's the opportunity cost if they achieve it? What's the opportunity cost if they don't? What's at stake? Who are the players? How are you going to be the coach to play the game? Okay. And Carrie, also to answer your question, play the game where you feel the most comfortable. You know, I'll be really straight with you. I'm not excited or jazzed about calling the chief executive officer of a Fortune 10 company. I'm not excited about that. Could I do it? Absolutely. Do I want to do it? No, that's not the game that I play, because I also know this is number strategy. I think we're in strategy now, ladies. Know the competitive landscape. Are you competing with a Deloitte? Are you competing with an SAP? Are you competing with other Big 10 consultants? You know what's been happening. Companies that are involved with ERP, corporate enterprise transformation, they've got consultants and coaches already in the organization. Okay. Yeah. So let's not compete with that. Now you could coach an executive in a corporation, a Fortune 10 corporation. You could coach them and they could introduce you into a division of the company, or you could do specific work, but it starts with that relationship with that individual. And as I said last week, and Catherine Winter-Celery pointed out too, is corporations, all they really are is they're groups of people that happen to work in an organization. These are just human beings, okay? There's nothing mysterious about it. So they belong to teams, and they belong to groups, and they belong to divisions. So sometimes the one-to-one can get you introduced into the corporation, okay? Any other questions? What's emerging? Yes, Yvette, thank you.
For the past, 11 years, I have gone to mentors and this and that. Everything that you have been saying, I have been already doing. I even have the templates of the questions and the assessments. I even created my own assessment through the book that I wrote. But the access to getting the foot on the door, that's what I have been missing throughout these 11 years. So
Yes.
I'm hoping that through the summit, I access to that, because for 11 years, I have worked with mentors and I've done everything. I'm ready. I'm ready, but then I don't have that other access. It's like I'm blindfolded for not knowing what I just don't know.
Yvette, thank you. You're not alone in this. You're not alone. And so the way that our summit is set up is today's our start date. You know, we're going on this summit and we're getting everything together that we need. Okay. You wouldn't start a summit to Mount Everest or Mount Rainier wearing a flimsy windbreaker, right? You wouldn't do it. Okay. So we're doing that same kind of summiting into corporate. So we've got to get all of our tools together. We've got to get everything together and prepare for tomorrow. Tomorrow is how do we get in? Okay. How do we get in? So thank you. Great question, Yvette. Very great question. We're going to handle that tomorrow. We're going to discuss that tomorrow. So where we've been, you know, again, why do corporations hire us? What do we do? And of course, what does success look like? It requires results. So saying that we're a coach consultant, here's what we do. Boring, boring. What can you help them accomplish? What are the results that you will help them accomplish? And if we just start spouting out that I can help you with team, I can help you with this, I can help you with leadership, I can help diversity inclusion, it won't work, ladies. So specializing and having a framework, but most importantly, number 7 or 8 is, what do they need? What's their most pressing issue? Where I want to also I'd like to introduce one of the most important parts of our whole time together, because again, our summit today is we're starting this, is looking at what's your why. What's your why? This is absolutely positively critical to get what your why is, because, you know, you can communicate your why to your clients, but I'm asking for, this is like within our summit here today, day 1, you know, to be thinking for yourself, why do you want to get into this? What's the urge? What's the interest? What's the commitment? Yes, diversified income. Yes, diversified client base. And one of the things that's important to me is variety. I love to work with a variety of people, of human beings. I get so excited about diversity, of also working with men and women. I love it. I love it. And if you get bored with clients sometimes, give me some sparkle fingers. We're not going to report it back to your clients. Okay. So having a diversity of options and opportunities. Now, I'm not saying being a coach that does everything. I'm just saying you get this great privilege to work with a variety of people and more interesting clients. Also, more challenging clients. Okay, more challenging. I have never been so confronted and challenged as when I've worked with corporate clients. And then finally, looking at the prestige and the impact. To know, if there's something for me about this, is to know that I've been able to make a difference at Walgreens. Walgreens is a Chicagoland company, very, very successful company, makes a difference for their clients, for their customers. This is a company that's been founded by pharmacists. So to be able to work with pharmacists and turn them into leaders and to turn them into great communicators, I get jazzed about that, ladies. Okay. So starting to think about what's your why, and this is going to be field work number 1. What's your why? Okay. And I want to finish up a couple of things, and then we're going to come back to what's emerging for you. Why is this important? And also I'd love for you to put into the chat, if you know what your why is for breaking into corporate as a corporate coach, consultant, trusted advisor, and thought leader, put it in the why, put it in the chat, put your why in the chat, because we want to know this. Okay. Put it in the why. And again, as we go to today, we're at base camp number 1. We're going to define your target market. So we're going to come back tomorrow and be able to articulate and I'm going to follow up with each of you in an email message with this field work. Okay. define where's your target market? Where do you feel the most aligned? Where do you have experience? Where do you have passion? Where's your job experience? Where do you know people? Where do you have a tribe and a community? And again, this is not to box you in, but as you can imagine, the strategies are different with micro businesses versus large businesses versus associations. So start to think about where you feel the most aligned. Okay, base camp number 1 and base camp number 2. We're going to come back tomorrow and talk about your target market. We're also going to talk about your specialized niche. Okay, coaches and consultants resist having a niche. This is one of the most popular questions that I get all the time is, I don't want to have a niche. I don't want to get boxed in. Okay, got it. But where do you have experience? What are you passionate about? What's your point of view? Part of my point of view is I'm standing for a world where all corporate warriors have a coach. They have a trusted advisor. They have someone in their life they can turn to about the business challenges and the business opportunities that they're dealing with. Because guess what, ladies? They can't turn to HR. Most of our corporate warriors can't turn to their managers because they're dealing with things like, hey, I'm thinking about leaving. Hey, I'm thinking about starting a side hustle. Hey, I'm thinking about going to work for a competitor. Hey, I'm thinking that I want your job, right? So they're going through all this and they can't share this with their manager. They can't share it with HR. They can't share it with their colleagues, but they can share it with you as their trusted advisor and as their coach. Okay. I had that experience several years ago. There was a high flyer, high potential in a company that I was their corporate coach. And she with me things. And of course, I would never convey ever, because I'm bound by the ICF ethics and personally never share the details. But she shared with me things that were remarkable about her journey. And I was able to help her to reframe her current situation so she wanted to stay. She wanted to stick. She wanted to double down on her job when literally she was a flight risk. Okay. She was a flight risk. She was a very high potential executive. Okay. So you as the trusted advisor, and I will also say this is such a sacred opportunity for you ladies, sacred, because you have solutions. You can add value. It's a sacred relationship that you have. Okay. So today and tomorrow, our first base camp on our Success Summit is knowing what your why is. What's your why? Why do you want to break into corporate? Base camp number 2 is your specialization. Where do you want to specialize? What do you want to be known for? And what kind of organizations do you want to focus in on in your target market? You know, you can have a specialization of certain types of people in certain type of organizations dealing with this type of challenge. And tomorrow, we're going to focus in on our base camp number 2, which is the next steps to get in. Okay. That's tomorrow. Wednesday, same time, 1 p.m. Eastern. Our base camp is the next steps to get in. And so I just want to complete our time and take a few questions before we wrap up here. Is now's the time, sisters. Now's the time. You've got this beautiful light. You've got these beautiful skills and commitments and passion and knowledge. And oh, it's so delicious. It's time to shine it. Okay. Corporate is not a very fun place for many people. I want you to bring the light that you have into corporate. Okay, so curious as we complete, what's your, in like one sentence, what's your biggest takeaway? What's your biggest takeaway? And we're going to complete with that. And, you know, tomorrow's summit, day 2, is how to get in, specific strategies on how to get in. Okay, so be sure that you attend tomorrow. You might even want to review today's summit. It's really very information rich. And of course, questions that you have personally, schedule a one-on-one with me. Go to Calendly, Kathleen Caldwell, schedule a time with me, schedule 30 minutes. We can have a conversation specifically about you and your journey. Okay, so I'm going to start the share, and just curious, in one or two sentences, what's your biggest takeaway from today? And of course, the recordings will be up within hours of our broadcast, because my whole team is committed that this gets up quickly. Yeah, thank you. Ronnie, jump in. We've got just a few minutes.
I think you answered it. Tomorrow, when you start touching on how we knock on the door of places where we're not known, especially for more newbies like me that don't have all these connections.
Absolutely. How do you do that? So tomorrow, that's the theme, is how do we start getting in? What's our approach? What are the scripts that we use? What's the framework and the methodology that we use, whether we have contacts or we don't? Okay. So yeah, tomorrow is the whole get in strategy. Thanks, Ronnie. Good. Thank you. Yvette, please jump in.
When I heard you saying diversified so that you can protect yourself from budgets, cuts, and all of that, I felt it like a fresh air, because that's what I have always been thinking. But then I struggle when people ask me to niche down, because that is where it gets very hard. So how, I need to create or find a way to balance those two in order to be able to manage, accessing a diversity of spaces,
Yes.
but with a niche.
Perfect. So tomorrow is going to be also about that, is how do we look at, how do we get in, but then why are we getting in? What's our game plan once we get into corporate? And ultimately, tonight's field work too is to be thinking about, what are the problems that I'm solving? So again, tonight, what's the target market that I'd like to focus in? What's my specialization? And what's the value that I'm providing? And then tomorrow we're going to look at, like, who needs it and how do we get in? So these are great questions, ladies, right? Really great. Yes, thank you. Other takeaways. We've got just a couple minutes. Your biggest takeaways in a couple sentences. Kate and Joyce and Teresa and Susan and Latanya, jump in.
I think for me, the biggest sort of reframe is this idea of moving away from the word coach, which I don't typically use anyway, but moving toward a word like strategist, which I really enjoy that word.
I do too, Kate. And that really sticks for me, for you. Yeah, exactly. And isn't it more interesting? And again, the whole premise is not to get like tricky here, but to be able to not let's get out of the box. Let's get ourselves out of the coach consultant box, and let's focus in on what's the outcome. A strategist to provide solutions for busy executives, a strategist for improved profits, a strategist for something else. So be thinking also for us, what's the outcome? Thank you, Kate. Glad you're here. Excellent. Good. Thank you. And all of you. Teresa, jump in. Joyce, jump in. Couple sentence. What's your takeaway from our time together? Was it helpful, ladies?
Absolutely.
Yeah, good.
And I think for me, it was knowing the value that I can bring and rethinking about that, and knowing that there is a need for what I have to offer, and it's just a matter of putting it out there. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. And, we don't have to be everybody's everybody, everyone's, we don't have to be the coach consultant for everyone, but we can be the right trusted advisor for the right people. So who are our people? Who are we looking for, and who's looking for us? Okay. We don't, as Trisha Ben, our beautiful sister, says, we don't need to go out and boil the ocean, right? But where's our tribe? Where's our community? Who wants and needs what we can provide? Great questions. Thank you. Joyce, jump in. So glad you're here. Your biggest takeaway, dear. And you are muted, hun.
All right, unmute. Okay, well, as you probably have heard, I had major back surgery. in on the 29th of March. So I'm just glad to be up and around and walking 10,000 steps a day again.
Oh, Joyce, we're so thrilled for you. Sparkle
All right.
fingers for Joyce.
All right.
Yeah,
Let me,
good. The
but
world
let me,
needs you, Joyce.
well,
Come on, girl.
I know the world needs me. However, you know, it's been a decade since I really did consulting. I've spent a lot of time trying to boil down the US government, right? Okay. And I do, and you're right. I just redid my resume and I made it business advisor. Okay.
Great.
I've done all the things you brought up. I am the, you know, I used to do the due diligence for big Price Waterhouse projects. And at Gartner, I led the biggest account, and no consultant had ever done that. I was the #1 GAM. But then I walked off, went and ran for public office. And since then I've worked on Reimagine, and now I need to do something that has purpose.
Oh, so perfect. Oh, so perfect. Yes. Yes.
But my network is dead. I need to do something that gives me purpose.
Yes. Yes. So for each of you, book a time in my Calendly. My gift from me to you is let's have a 30-minute conversation about you and where you're going, what your passions are, your purpose, your impact, and where's the opportunity? You know, where's this nexus between world needs and what you can provide? Okay, great. Because for each of us, and you specifically, Joyce, in this moment, the world needs you. We need you in the game, girl. You're a healthy, vibrant, awesome, powerful, seasoned woman like each of us. We got to be in the game. We got to be in the game. Okay.
Absolutely right. I'm doing some background research, and when I finish that, we will get together and have that chat.
Excellent. I look forward to that. Okay, so let's thank you. So Sparkle Fingers, loved having each of you here today. Was this a delicious time together? Yes. Was it important and invaluable to you? Okay, we covered a lot of ground. We're at Base Camp 1. We're at Base Camp 2 tomorrow. We're going to talk about how to get in. Okay, so be here, same time, 1 p.m. Eastern. Watch the recording, and the field work we send out to you in email today. Okay. Lots of love to you. See you tomorrow. Can't wait. Take care. Bye for now. Bye-bye.